This old controller right here is a GameCube controller from my childhood. And as you can probably tell from all of the wear, tear, and grime, this was the controller. The same one that came bundled with my family's GameCube back in the day. And guys, you know, this is the controller that we all fought over, and it was the one that we just thought made you play better. And my guess is that a lot of you had a controller like this growing up, even if it wasn't a GameCube controller. But at this point, that was a long time ago. And after countless hours of Super Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Kart Double Dash, Zelda, and apparently a lot of Doritos, the buttons on this old controller are getting really soft and the joysticks are extremely loose. So in today's video, we are gonna give an old friend new life with what is, in my opinion, the ultimate upgrade for an old controller like this. Alright, so this is the 8BitDo GameCube controller DIY mod kit, and it's kind of perfect for what we're going to be accomplishing here because it's not just a wireless adapter strapped to your controller, it's actually a full motherboard replacement for the original GameCube controller with modern features like wireless connectivity, a rechargeable battery, and Hall effect joysticks built right in. And while this was a pretty straightforward mod, it's definitely not perfect, and I did have quite a tough time getting it all put back together. But I did choose this DIY kit specifically because it's a drop-in replacement that adds modern features but also allows me to keep this old cool shell intact, which is awesome because I just love how this thing looks with the old and worn down paint. And for full transparency, I'm not affiliated with 8BitDo in any way. I bought this with my own money and I just genuinely think it's cool. One thing to note on it though, and something I didn't realize before I bought it, is that it doesn't actually come with new face button membranes, so keep that in mind if you decide that you want to do this mod. Alright, to open up this shell, you need a tri-wing screwdriver because Nintendo, in their infinite tomfoolery, decided that normal Phillips head screws were too mainstream. Luckily, the kit does include one, which is nice. Looking at the inside of this thing for the first time in 25 years was kind of a trip, and also pretty disturbing. If this was someone else's controller grime, this would be totally disgusting, but because it's my family's, it was just oddly endearing. Regardless, this is still gross, so I proceeded to get everything cleaned up before I moved on. Alright, with the shell all nice and clean, I started by hooking up the C-stick board and cap, then stripped the wires connecting the rumble motor and old trigger PCBs so I could transplant this mounting piece from the old motherboard to the new one. The kit came with the new trigger PCBs taped like this, so I took that off, then slid them into the mount like this. And one thing to note on this is that the leads on mine for this right trigger were just a little bit short, which made the whole process slightly harder than it should have been, but I did eventually get it worked out. So I went ahead and soldered the rumble motor to the included connector, then connected it to the motherboard and seated it in the mount. Next, I connected this little LED charging port thing, and then I started trying to situate everything in such a way that I could get the two halves to fit together, and this was much more frustrating than I thought it would be. And I don't think this is really a fault of the kit, but I think just more the general weirdness of the design of the GameCube controller. But at the same time, this general weirdness is just kind of what makes the GameCube controller so awesome. After a few tries and remembering that all of the face buttons, membranes, and the Z button all need to be on the top half of the controller, it finally came together. My first impressions of this thing are great, and actually pairing the controller to the retro receiver was really simple. The sticks and triggers honestly feel amazing, and it just feels great to have this cord gone. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid playing with my friends and my brothers, after playing for a couple hours and switching controllers many times, we always had this huge rat's nest, and it was so annoying. It feels really weird to be playing with this old controller wirelessly, and I'm obviously really close to this screen, but when it comes to like playing in a living room setting, it's gonna be awesome. Everything feels really responsive, the sticks feel fantastic, I didn't notice much latency if any, and my only real complaint is that the Z button is slightly clickier, louder than the original, but it's really not that bad. Okay, so for my situation and the nostalgia involved, I do think this mod was worth it, but it's definitely not going to be for everybody, so I'm just going to lay down some info and then you guys can assess whether or not this is something that you want to do. The kit costs about $50 after you get the required retro receiver, which is honestly pretty spendy. I mean, it's still significantly less than buying a used Wavebird, but still. And if you want 4 of these, it adds up really quick, so I looked into some alternatives and found this really cool solderless Bluetooth adapter mod. It seriously looks so cool, and it actually works with this kit. If you were to install this, it would end up being slightly less expensive for a 4-controller setup, and also add some modern features to your GameCube in the process, which is really cool and is actually what I'm going to be doing in my next video, where I modernize my family's old GameCube with most of the latest and greatest mods. It should be a really fun build and video, so make sure you guys subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thank you guys so much for watching, I truly appreciate it. Peace out.